Hi, I'm Mike Griffiths from Nature Conservation. One of the woody weeds in our woody weed campaign is this thing right here, the olives. It's a bit of a different one in that everybody loves olives. It's an important tree crop in the area, and it also happens to be an environmental weed. We're here on Wallcliffe Road, just west of Margaret River, and we've got a couple of fairly big olive trees right here and a whole lot of seedlings. It's quite a typical situation. We've got properties all around, including a few old farmhouses, and this is quite obviously just being carried here by birds from the neighbourhood. People are pretty familiar with the olive trees. In the wild, they get a little bit scruffier than the cultivated trees, but they're still pretty recognisable. This broad, flat, mid-green leaf. Key point is the rear side of them is a pale green. The trees don't necessarily have olives on them. These ones don't. I'm sure they have in the past, but that smooth, straight stem and that flat green leaf is key characteristics. We've got a little olive tree here. It's the offspring of the big ones just over by the road, and it shows you how spindly they can get. Not everybody's familiar with spotting little olive seedlings out in the bush, but this is a pretty typical one right here. One of the things that makes olives a particularly tricky weed is that birds love the fruit just like people do, and that means straight away that these things will spread for kilometres out of sight. Around the Margaret River region, it's really common to find them along roadsides, anywhere around old farms, and of course olive groves, and they love creek lines and shaded areas. One of the reasons why olives are popular is because they're drought hardy. You don't have to water them and they grow in all sorts of dry conditions. But think about other natives. Consult your nursery, have a chat to Nature Conservation about native shrubs, native trees that will take the place. There are a lot of good alternatives. If you've got olive trees around your property and you're harvesting them and you're pickling them and you're using them, the best thing you can do is net the trees. That's the one thing that'll stop birds carrying the seed. The other thing you can do is to pick the fruit when they're ripe. And a third thing is prune the tree so they're manageable.
Hey, Nath here from Nature Conservation, Margaret River region. We're going to run you through some olive control methods. The first method for seedlings, just wrap your hand around them and get your back into it. Just lay them down, they're fine. Generally, these ones probably getting to the point where they're a bit harder to pull out. You can just really wrap your arm around them. So the second method, when they're a bit bigger, you want to cut it down as low as you can, scratch it around, get down to the surface so you can see how far it goes. There's no rocks in the way of your saw, and get it down. We do need to use herbicide, and you want to put it on as soon as possible. This is a user-friendly brand, Vigilant, and try and just get it around the outside, and that should do it. So once you've painted around the cambium layer, that will stop it from reshooting, and job done.
It's a bit different to all the other woody weeds we've been dealing with. Everybody knows it, it's a popular tree, but there is a downside to it. They're a huge environmental problem. They're also a huge fire risk because of oily oil in the leaves. So the message is really think twice before you plant them, and if you've got them, look after the trees. Olives are just one of the woody weeds that Nature Conservation is targeting under the Woody Weeds campaign. Woody weeds, basically any shrubs or trees that are invading the forest and creeks. If you want more information on them, jump onto the Nature Conservation website and have a look at our woody weed booklet.